I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which ruled great millstone well, and which taught us the truth, which is teaching Israel the truth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa Abba Babal. All right, so yesterday at camp on June 20th, 2026, the year of apostasy and Jacob's trouble, we were preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and we were confronted by a demon, all right, an Edomite, and he looked militarized the way he was dressed, and pretty much he started making threats of accusing us, as it says that Satan shall accuse our brethren. He was accusing us of making certain kinds of threats because we were reading the Bible, which he called the police, and I seen a state patrol and a sheriff show up, because where we're at, it's like on the it's literally on the highway. It's a rest stop, and it has a lot of traffic when you come into the state that we're in. And they stopped there, and you could get, use the restroom. It has, like they said, over 100,000 people visit that spot, probably even more than that a year. And sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. But yesterday it was busy, and we had an Edomite walk in front of us and pretty much try to condemn us, which it showed that they're nothing, which I was telling him he was nothing. All right? These hypocritical devils, they say you have the freedom of speech, but when you're using your freedom of speech, which they suppose you have, they threaten you with death, because that's the charge that would have came with what he was trying to accuse us of. All right? So that's where they're going. We've been prophesying about this because it's the prophecy in the Holy Scriptures. What did they do to the holy men in the past? They murdered the prophets, including Yahweh Shai, Yahweh's son, the Messiah, our Savior. His precious son did they crucify. He died and was resurrected, and that's all we're saying, is that he's coming back. Why was Paul beheaded in Rome? Because he was telling the Israelites that were scattered amongst the Gentiles that they have salvation in Yahweh Shai, that their sins were forgiven through Yahweh Shai. So I'm gonna let it play, and you're gonna hear what he says.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor seized the golden city ceased?
And I just want to point out, what I'm drinking is a mixture of teas and coffee, black coffee. All right, just so you know what it is. All right.
Right, which America is coming to its end. Cease.
Oh, and a point I want to make out was when I woke up, it was a strange morning. And so I fasted. I didn't eat before I came out. And because I was getting like a spiritual vibration that this day was different than others, though it was, another camp day as any other.
I mean, in that word there, it's Shabbat, Sabbath. Because America don't keep the Sabbath. They're constantly running. In fact, they celebrated the Pony Express over here, and that was them. They claimed to be there's postal service, but it wasn't. It was the Israelites that were the actual postal service, the Pony Express, and that's why they wore fringes.
Let me speed it up a little bit.
These sleeper cells, they're all confederate against these people, the Israelites. Go ahead, Jacob. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 5. The Lord with everybody. And really, it's a bunch of different nations. That's what it is. These sleeper cells, they're all confederate against these people, the Israelites. Go ahead, Jacob. Isaiah chapter 14. Protect you. That's why you gotta have a gun on your side to protect you. That's why you gotta have the police to protect you from the so-called fear of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. That's why you enslaved us, because you're afraid of us. Just like the Egyptians were in the past. You're afraid of us. You're very afraid. You know why? Because the Bible says you're afraid. Go to Isaiah 14 and 1. I didn't say that. No, I said that's the Bible's prophecy. Now you're trying to put words in my mouth. Showing you're a fork-tongued devil. You're trying to lie. I know what I said. I said the Bible says it. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob.
Which we need mercy from you devils. You don't let up. You stole our land. You enslaved us. Now you try to shame us because we bring out the facts that you're a bloody man. Woe unto the bloody nation, the hypocritical nation. Go ahead.
And will yet choose Israel.
He's going to choose us. We are oppressed by the so-called white race. The UN said that the worst slavery ever happened on earth was here in America. And they try to mock us when they're the ones that owe. They owe the pound of flesh. We don't owe it. We paid it. They're in our land. Israel is our land. Hebrew is our language, not Yiddish. Ish, meaning faith. No, your land is Mount Seir, all right? And you go back to the caves. You're the caveman. You're the Neanderthal, all right? You just... Go ahead.
And set them in their own land.
Let me point out, there are Israelites that look like so-called Caucasians, so not every so-called white person is an Edomite. Go ahead.
And the stranger shall be joined with them.
Which there's Israelites watching us on the internet, and you know it to be true. You know it to be true. It's biblically true that this is a goddamn lie. This is a goddamn lie. Their money is a goddamn lie. That's why they're going crypto. Their government is a goddamn lie. I don't give a shit what you do. You don't got a prayer in heaven or on earth. You're nothing. You're nothing.
See, so you hear him saying that T word with, I'm going to just say it because he's saying it, terroristic threats, right? He's trying to accuse us of this, which in the scriptures it says not to be afraid of these devils because they're going to want to throw some of us into jail, and they're going to persecute us, all right? And they're going to label us as a threat and falsely accuse us. It says in Revelation 2, verse 10, fear none of those things. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It's red letter. Revelation 2, verse 10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. Which they're going to bring us before judges, and it's going to get up to the governors of the states, which they're watching us already. We always bring this out. You even got spies in camps. All right, you are being watched through the technology, right? Because really they're searching us out because they're the sword of the Lord. The wicked, the so-called white race, they're the left hand of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. So even if we die, we were going in on it in that camp, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, that, hey, we have a promise of new bodies. They can't threaten us with death. We overcame death in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We have a promise of life. We have understanding of reincarnation and resurrection. All right? They have no power over us because they're death. All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, the red devil the Bible speaks of, the wicked that rule the world. That's why the world's in a wicked state. All right? They're going to come down with great wrath knowing that they have but a short time. All right. And the only answer he has is to begin to put people to death, because that's all he has is that sword. It says, Revelation 12, verse 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, talking about the Israelites that are in the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, because it's going to be World War III. And it is World War III, and it's going to end in a nuclear destruction. America will end in a nuclear destruction because they're going to lose World War III. And that's prophecy. Revelation 17, Revelation 18. All right. The Lord's going to reward everyone for what they've done. It says in Galatians 6, God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. America has nuked, all right, with atomic bombs, cities in Japan. They have done horrible things throughout the world to everybody, to every nation, even their own people. But most of all, they touched the Lord's people, the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which been scattered throughout the world in slavery. We are exiles from Jerusalem. Our holy land right now has counterfeits in it, the other nations, all right? But we're enslaved, subject to payment. And as you saw, you don't have the right of freedom of speech in America, all right? Because eventually they're going to persecute us and want to put us to death for this truth, all right? Why? Because we're telling this devil that they got a short time. All right? They got a short time. And fuck them. They do got a short time. I enjoy telling them they got a fucking short time. All right? My pleasure is to do the will of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, who has summoned me. All right? So once again, Revelation 12, verse 12, therefore rejoice. See? Enjoy, ye heavens, you Israelites of the hopeful elect, and ye that dwell in them, that listen to the prophets, and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai by the word. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the so-called white race, is come down unto you having great wrath. They're mad because they murdered, they robbed, they lied, and now they got to pay for it, and they're upset about it, because he knoweth that he had but a short time before he goes into slavery. All right, and that's really what's happening. They're about to go into slavery. Their kingdom is crumbling, all right, but they're going into slavery and they're upset they got to pay for it. Remember, they find themselves innocent for what they did against us. They always try to say, it wasn't me that did it. It wasn't my forefathers, right? Then they even try to act sometimes like, oh, we're the natives here, right? Or they like the South Africans do in Africa. They claim to be African, but they're actually British Edomites, So it says in Revelation 13 and 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. So we have to endure much tribulation as we enter into the kingdom of heaven. And they're going to persecute us. All right. But we're going to overcome them. Remember, we're going to overcome them. And you got to believe in that. You got to believe that Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai has given us the authority to overcome them. All right, so it says in Matthew 24, verse 7, Yahushua is speaking, for a nation shall rise against nation. We're in racial tensions, right? You got the Ice Cube and Ice T programs where they're actually murdering people in these immigration camps. It says, and kingdom against kingdom, world war, right? Russia's on fire right now talking about destroying Ukraine with a nuclear weapon, which he is the lead of them that will, he's the head for the other nations against America. He's going to be a guard to him, as it says in Ezekiel. It says, And there shall be famines and pestilences, which is happening, right? They're telling you there's going to be famines and pestilences. They say there's happening right now in this current time. There's different kinds of plagues coming upon the people through the creatures, and earthquakes in diverse places. I just read a report where they're talking about earthquakes that are coming up like a burp out of the earth, all right, that happened 100 years ago, but it's having like aftershocks now in this generation because they're having so many earthquakes. They're trying to explain them, but really it's all prophecy. In diverse places, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, which they really want to torture us. Read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. And shall kill you, which they're going to murder some of us. But the martyrs, they have a new body that they're going to go to once they die and be with Yahushua when he returns to pick up them that are alive. It says, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's really what they were mad about, because we're telling you the truth. It makes us an enemy. All right. All we're doing is telling you the truth. And it don't matter if you're offended or not. All right. Everybody has their lot. And the Lord created everybody with their lot. So it says in Isaiah 54:16, behold, I have created the smith. The smith is pertaining to the Edomite, that bloweth the coals in the fire, which they were blessed with the sword. That's how they got the earth, right? Greeks and Romans, they murdered and took the earth, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Now they got the gun. And I have created the waster to destroy. The waster is Esau, Aishawah, wasted away, and he created the waster to destroy. This is why they create weapons of mass destruction. They're the sword. They're the devil. They don't bring life. They bring death. It says they bring famine, death, and destruction. Now it says in 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. So some of us ain't going to die. Yahushua prophesied about that too. That some of us ain't going to die. We're going to get an increase of power, where we're going to be able to defend the Israelites from the attacks of it says they're going to come in like a flood. All right, they tell you these sleeper cells. That's Zechariah 14. They're going to try to destroy us by casting us out of our home and trying to destroy us by famine and trying to destroy us through different methods. They even got robots trying to destroy us. Right? They poison our food trying to destroy us, but it's all in vain because the Lord is for us. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, so who could lay a charge against the elect? It's Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai that justifieth. So these people are really nothing. And they showed it yesterday. He was making all these threats. And when the cops came and they freaking just passed by us, they didn't even stop and talk to us. In fact, there was storm chasers behind us that were tracking the storm behind us. You could see they were pulling out all their equipment and looking at it. And it was getting a little stormy. And where we're at, it's the weather is right at that edge where we're at, the cross at the border of the 3 states. It's almost like Tornado Alley, as they say. So they get a little action over there, which we know, the Lord created spirits of vengeance. All right. This is why all these natural disasters are happening. It's a prophecy of Yahweh coming back. Yahweh sending Yahushua back to judge the world and to save the elect. All right. That's in the Bible. Everything we're saying is in the Bible. I'm reading from the Bible right now. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon, including Esau, the waster, who is created to destroy, that is formed against thee shall prosper, which means overcome us. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, which you just heard them rise up against us in judgment, thou shalt condemn. That man is condemned. He tried to condemn us to death. He's condemned. All right? Man's power does not overrank Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. All right? So that man is condemned. All right? And really, the majority of this world is condemned. And it don't matter if you don't like it. Too fucking bad. All right? This is what it is. And as Yahweh said, it is what he says it is. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, which us going back to the land starts with us rising up on our feet, prophesying, which it started with Abba Bivens 350 years after the first slave was brought to the east coast of America from the west coast of Africa on slave ships, which were the southern kingdom. All right? This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. All right, so we're doing what Yahweh wants, and these devils think they could condemn us. They're condemned. All right, they're condemned. And that's why they're going to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. Zechariah 14, verse 1, Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and they shall spoil, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Which you got these sleeper troops, or sleeper cells, and really it's a setup against the Israelites. All right? For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem, and it's a mix of nations. Remember, America, which is the whore that rides the beast being the European Union, which they have teeth, the NATO nations, which their allies are the UN nations, all right? They're confederate against the Israelite, all right, which is Jerusalem. And they're going to go to battle with us, which we have no ability to fight them because we have no money, we have no military, we don't have no recognition. If that's even a word, we're not being recognized by anybody. The UN said that the worst slavery to ever happened to us in America. They took everything from us. They took away our humanity. All right, they took away our dignity. They took away our ability to live. They robbed us of anything. And right now, we don't even have the freedom of speech because soon they're going to persecute us for speaking the truth. And they're going to rob us of our lives, right? But really, they're going to have to pay for that. They're not just going to get away with it. Who the fuck are you to touch the anointed? Who the fuck are you to come in the way of the Lord's word being pushed on this earth when the whole earth was created by his word? You see, these Edomites are fools, man. They don't know really what they're involved in. They don't care to know either. The wicked shall not understand.
I'm speaking by the Bible. Your threats are nothing. Your word don't matter, Edomite. You're beneath that dog. You're nothing. You're standing before men of the Lord. You have no power. Your gun cannot save you. Your hypocritical laws cannot save you. Go ahead.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Salvation is only for the Israelite. Salvation is only for the Israelite. The heathen are nothing. Nothing. Go ahead. Oh, what was this? Was this love? When you break up a family with your ice cubes and your iced teas, is that love? When you murder our people in the jails, is that love? You teaching our children how to be homosexuals, is that love? Are you breaking our house up, taking the man out of the house? Is that love? Us telling the truth and you trying to stop us, is this love?
You get reservations.
You're a predator.
You get casinos.
You're an Epstein file. Every one of you Edomites are a motherfucking pedophile. You're all wicked. You're wicked. You're president to your local police. It don't matter. You're all devils.
What's your name?
It don't matter.
Yeah, because you're scared.
You're
scared.
I'm not scared.
We know that
You're not.
See, and we're not scared. We have a promise of life. We don't have a promise. We weren't given a spirit of fear. We were given a spirit to call on Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. Romans 8. All right, we're not in a spirit of fear. All right, we're literally laying our lives down as a sacrifice to tell our people the truth. All right, it says in Romans 8 verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai, the Spirit of prophecy, the Spirit of truth, they are the sons of Yahweh. Through Yahushai are we adopted in. Romans 9 verse 4. This is verse 15 of Romans 8. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. So the Edomite was created to destroy us because we sinned. All right, that was the prophecy. Now they don't have that power to destroy us because we're not in willful sin anymore like this, and we have salvation from our sin in Yahushai. So though we are in sinful bodies, we serve Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai, in our spirit, in the spirit of prophecy, as we wait for Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai. All right? So they can't put us to death for really anything, and that's why it's going to condemn them when they do. When they do begin to put us to death, it's going to condemn them. The earth is really going to start rocking and rolling with plagues. All right, it says, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, which were adopted in to the kingdom through Yahushai, were married to him, and now Yahweh sees us as his own children, though we were exiled because of our sin. We were separated. All right, Yahushai reconciled us back to our power. All right. It says, whereby we cry, Abba, Father, which Yahweh, he says that if we call upon him in a time of trouble, he will save us. All right. It says, and how does he save us? Through Yahushai. He delivers, he saves. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of Yahweh through his son Yahushai, which are, it tells you the way you know that the Lord favors us. Let me see if it pulls it up. No. Here it is. I pulled it up. It's by this, Psalms 41:11. By this I know that thou favoreth me, because mine enemy doth not triumph over me. Once again, Psalm 41:11. By this I know that thou favoreth me, which he favors the Israelites, starting with the elect, because mine enemy doth not triumph over me. Which this man actually called the police on us, and they just passed by and, like I said, talked to the, weather trackers, the storm chasers that were behind us. All right. And they were tracking the storm back there, which I pointed out. Hey, those are signs of the times. Yahushai said that there would be signs in the heavens, signs on earth. There would be uproars of the people. There would be famines. There would be pestilences. There would be earthquakes. There would be all kinds of different things happening. But the number one sign is the prophet. All right? The Lord gave prophets to Israel, and the prophecies condemned the other nations.
You're nothing. Right now. You're nothing. You don't want me to know your name, so I don't bring a lawsuit against you for defamation. Call me a pedophile. Oh, I guarantee you're a pedophile. If you're a so-called white man, you're a pedophile. What's your name? What is the Epstein? What is your name? Who is in the Epstein? What is your name, Captain? I got a channel. What is your name? Dealing with all these things. God. What is your name? I'm showing you. Read the Bible, you faith in God. What is your name?
Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
In the name of God.
We're going to take them back to that land of Israel where they stole us from.
Go
ahead.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants.
For servants, which is slaves. They're going into slavery, like it or not.
What's your name?
We didn't want to go into slavery, but they're going into slavery. They can't stop it.
Cowards.
They're failing. Look at their government. What happened with Iran? Who's paying Iran $300 billion like a bitch? They're giving Iran a blowjob.
I bet you're
because America's the great whore spoken of in the Bible.
The horde.
It's a whore. It calls this place a whore because you do deals
backdoor deals with everybody.
I don't do deals with anybody. What are you
This
talking
is your
about?
government. You're upset because I'm telling the truth about America's history.
I'm not upset at all. I'm upset at you.
Then what's your
for
business here?
defaming me and calling for murder of me.
I didn't say that. I said what's in the Bible. Now you can feel offended about that, but that's the Spirit condemning you.
I'm not offended.
You're
I'm
condemned.
threatened.
You're
I'm
condemned.
threatened. I'm not offended
Well, why are you threatened? I'm just reading the Bible.
because you're calling for the death of white men.
The
I'm
white
a
men
white
are
man.
calling for death of my people.
I haven't called for the death of you once.
You're murdering us in the damn FEMA camps right now.
When
You're
did
not
I-
fighting
when
for
did I
our
murder
freedom. You're not fighting
Why,
for
are
the
you
so-called
illegal? Are you
Mexicans'
here
freedom.
illegally?
You're not fighting for
Are
the
you-
so-called
are you
American
here
African,
illegally?
so-called American Africans'
Are
freedom.
you here illegally?
Look, this is what the Bible says the Messiah looks
My
like.
government.
No, you're here illegally.
I'm here illegally?
Yeah.
How's that?
Because your forefather, and get Isaiah 14 and
My
21.
forefathers.
Right.
My forefathers. Why are you whining and crying about my forefathers?
Because there's
My
reincarnation on
forefathers-
earth.
My forefathers.
You're
came
the
from
reincarnation
Caribbean.
of your
My
forefathers.
didn't do any of this to you.
Who are your forefathers then?
My forefathers are the Dutch.
The Dutch,
Yeah,
right? Which were a superpower before America.
that's right. They were, and they brought mass technology.
Which they did. No,
and
they didn't.
Civilization.
They
to an
enslaved
uncivilized
us.
people.
We invented everything.
They brought
Look it up.
civilization and technology.
We invented
to an
everything. You didn't
uncivilized
invent
people.
nothing. You have no flavor.
To
You
an
have no salt.
inferior
You're
people.
weak.
To an
You're bland.
inferior
You're
people.
nothing.
Inferior because they
Nothing.
didn't have technology.
Go ahead.
They did not have the grace of God.
You're nothing.
Isaiah 14, verse 21, prepare slaughter
God
for
bless
his
you.
children.
Look,
I hope
the
that
Bible's
you see
telling
the
you.
error of your ways.
Hey,
God
listen
bless
up.
You.
Listen
God's
up.
word.
The Bible's telling you,
God
get
bless
ready
you.
for your destruction,
God-
You
Esau.
want the truth?
You're going into slavery.
Do not kill.
Your whole fucking race.
Do not kill.
Your whole fucking race. Go ahead.
Slaughter for his children.
Read it from the start.
Okay.
Isaiah 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers.
So look, prepare means to tell you. All I'm doing is telling you what's in the
You are
Bible.
violating.
I'm telling you
God's
what's in the
commandment.
Bible.
You're violating.
telling you what's in the Bible.
You're
This is his
violating God's
commandment.
commandment.
See, and this shows you that these so-called Christians are actually the real Antichrist. And it's not one Antichrist, it's many Antichrists. And they're against the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. They don't want the truth coming out. All right, because their whole setup is a goddamn lie. From their beginning to their end. They're going to be destroyed. That's it. All right, and their time is drawing near. And they can't stop it. They can't alter it. They can't slow it down. In fact, it's speeding up. The Lord is shortening the days for the elect's sake.
Get your phone out. See, your religion is nothing. Your God is nothing, so you're nothing. Go ahead.
That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Because look what you did to the earth, Edomites. You destroyed the whole earth. You act like you're an angel of light. You're the fucking red devil. You're the predator. You're the pedophiles in the Epstein files. There's nothing good that comes out of your race. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 22. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Jehovah.
See, it's the Lord that's going to rise up against you devils, not us. We don't have the power to fight you. God is against you devils. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the names and the remnants.
Which America is going to lose World War III and become a lake of fire. You're going to eat nuclear missiles. Go ahead.
And son and nephew, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Right. So the Lord's going to extinct Esau. He's going to make them extinct after slavery. They're going to go into slavery under us and pay us back for everything they did. God is just, they say.
Shalom to the elect, wa abababal.